Welcome to a presentation of Transformation360, a brand new platform for innovation management. The team has worked so hard for so long together with some of our wonderful clients, so it's a big moment and with a lot of pride that I'm now going to present to you the inside of Transformation360 and the value created using this brand new solution. It all started back in 2019 when we were invited by the UN to tackle a number of the sustainability goals. One of those goals were number 12, about consumption and production. One of the big problems with consumption and production is the waste, and especially plastic, ending up in the nature and also in the sea. And there is a very big plastic patch in the ocean that is very, very dangerous for the humanity. You can gain a lot of insights by reaching out, and we did, to 2,000 people plus and got insights. And then you need to do something with this insight, and we did. And then you can come up with opportunities, and we did. We worked very closely with SAP and the UN and some other sponsors under the name Fix the Planet. I'm now going to show you what we did, and I'm going to show you how the tool can support any kind of journey, including fixing big, nasty problems. If we start with Ingmar Bergman, the very well-known movie director, maybe one of the most legendary movie directors ever, actually Swede originally. He said, "My films grow like a snowball, very gradually, from a single flake of snow. In the end, I often can't see the original flake that started it all." The same goes with ideation and tackling challenges. If we start with a goal, the UN goal, number 12, that is strategic initiatives, as we call it. It's one of the strategic initiatives, number 12. Then a lot of things will happen, a lot of snowflakes, and eventually, gradually, it moves into a snowball. And what we use for that, it was what we called an ideation work. Think of it like a sketchbook, where you document everything you do and you have support to do the right things. Here is where it started at the UN. And then we were also hosting events at the SAPX skyscraper in New York. So there are a few years since then, but that is like the starting point. And what we created is actually to pick any kind of challenge, find it, define it, nail it, describe a problem, and then pick a journey. It could be simple things like, I want to create a new product feature, or I want to transform my business with AI, or I want to complete innovation management process, or I want an innovation sprint, or I want maybe to customize my own process. We call those processes journeys. You can have many journeys, and everything could be adapted and customized in the tool. It's fantastic. That way, we also know that some cases it's like, okay, I know how to do this. I just need a tool to help me and organize it and keep the team together. Other situations are much more complicated, where you maybe want to involve more stakeholders internally, externally, and you need something to keep it together and move from the problem to an industrialized solution. So it's very different, but all of that is possible to codify in the tool. And you also have a commercialization readiness following you in each step, securing you take the right measure to go to either an existing market, a new market, or redefining the market. So let's have a look from the outside. We pick this project with UN, and we pick goal number 12. About production and consumption. That's a strategic initiative, okay? So you can go to the link if you want to, fixtheplanet.com, and have a look at it. It's live and kicking. It's closed, you can't leave any ideas, but you can poke around and see everything and also download the report. It was more than 20,000 people participated, around 65 countries. And we aimed for goal 12, 14 and 15. I'm now going to dig into goal 12. And the landing page, as you see here, and we're going to show it, that's what the people from the outside sees, not the one working with the system. It has to be mobile first, look very, very engaging, attractive, easy to use. It should be super fast to use it. I'm going to take you through 7 steps. Let's start with the first one where we show the system from the outside. So hang on. This is the thing that will meet you from the outside. You see the strategic initiatives, you can click on them, you can see what's underneath, you can click on checking all the ideas, or you can go to one of the campaigns, and here you can add comments, you can rank things, and so forth. So you create a movement around the ideas belonging to one ideation work, and on the back end of the system, that is a cluster of ideas. You can have many ways of logging in. You will notice if you have used a system like this, or if you think about it, that there are 2 very different ways of working. Internally means that you work only internally in your organization. Then you can have single sign-on if you want to match it to your own Active Directory that you have on the inside, or you can register people that you want to give access. You can modeling any kind of organizational tree with access rights. You can also have contribution sites where you can let people register themselves or pre-register. And you can have a kiosk function if you want to put it on a factory floor, for instance, or in a store, in a chain like a food chain or a grocery chain or whatever, and link it to one IP address and let people leave ideas without having an account. Then you have the external part where you can have open registration, like the example here where we worked with opening up the World Exhibition in Dubai. And we actually created the Blue Marble Vision together with not 1, actually 4 astronauts. Pretty cool. And then we invited a lot of people, young people in advance, to come up with cool ideas around what would we like the world to be 2013. So if you do that, you need an open registration because you don't know who to invite and you need to push for that. Or you can have pre-registered. You can also enable social media sharing if you want to. You have multiple language support and so forth. So everything is possible actually, regardless if it's open or closed. So let's dig into step 2 and see how does it look on the inside. Here you can see that we have the strategic initiatives, and I click on one of those, and under that you have all the ideations that will be reflected on the canvas for the ideation work. And we're going to jump there in a second. Here we have the ideation work. So that's your portfolio of projects. And then you can have a look at your dashboard to get a pretty good overview of every project going on in your organization. And the dashboard can be completely customized with everything from the graphs to the information in the tables. Step 3. We pick one ideation here. Now we take the floating factory. That's the ideation work, the floating factory. That is like the canvas, right? Like your notebook. And that is linked to the strategic goal number 12 and to the ideation called circular business models. And then we to achieve that we try to find different way of achieving that. And one way is to eliminate the waste, and another one is to take care of the waste. Both of them is actually needed, and if you take care of it, you can circle it back. So, but we're going to dig into the floating factory. That is 1 out of 2 ideation work linked to the circular business model, linked to the number 2 goal. So as you can see, You need this hierarchy. It might sound complicated, but it's not. In real life, in reality, when you work with innovation management, if you're serious about that, you need this hierarchy to make it work. And the UN example is very tangible. It's easy to understand. You have 70 goals. To them you have areas to work with, that's the ideation, and to those you have specific problem statements, that is the ideation work. And to those you have a big number of campaigns, and you collect ideas and you iterate them, you test them, and you move them continuously forward in a journey. So let's jump into that and see how it looks like. This is the journey. Click on the home button and you will see the ideation. Here you have it with all the ideas, the clusters and so forth. And then you have the UN number 12 goal that is well described, and you can see everything there as well that belongs to that one. You have an event log, that is your journal. You can add things there yourself or automatically all events are added as well. All right. So, step number 4. We're going to show how to use the journey. And in the journey, depending on how you configure it, of course, but we have predefined journeys, and then you can configure your own journey. In the journey, you can have a very good overview visually. You can link an extensive repository of thousands of documents, but you don't need thousands of documents. You need a few of them, and they should be linked into the journey. And then you have interactive tools, you have templates, you have interactive tools like the PestLed to mapping out key drivers, scenario planning tools, you have assessment tools for assessing capability, culture, leadership, and also competencies. And then you have commercialization readiness tests to make sure that you close the gaps. And then you have customized templates, and you have online courses, everything you need to move your organization. And everything can be tailor-made and customized and changed to fit your situation, including the language used, both the spoken language and also if there are specific terms that you already use. So let's jump into and have a look at the journey. Here I click on an activity and I download a document. There are documents and courses linked to that one here. So here you can see an example of a document. Here is a tool for PestLed mapping that you can share a link and invite people and work together with them to create things. You have artificial intelligence, a huge database, you have a way of working interactively together and so forth and so forth. Then you have scenario planning tools and a bunch of other tools. So the journey links to tools and it links to different kind of documents. So let's have a look at another document here in another activity, that is the business experiments. It's quite many. Let's download one of them and have a look at that one. Everything is described exactly how to do and set it up, and there are, as said, quite many of them. But you don't do all of them. That's the whole point. The journey helps you to pick out the right things. And then you can customize it and tailor-made it in different ways. And as you can see, you can step forward in the different phases. And in this case, a few phases are quite extensive. You can put a progress on it and you can show it on the dashboard. Make sure that you know exactly what stage each and one of the processes are in. Then we have the 5th step, the analytical step. What's happening on the inside? It's AI-driven clustering. And we summarize with large language models. We have Google Analytics integration. Different kind of techniques for clustering and experiments and hypotheses. So let's see how it looks like. Here we have the clustering. And first you can see the visual part where you can browsing around. It's pretty cool actually, very advanced. And you can browse, and you can click on something and continue to browse from there. This is inspired by Cytoscape, which is a tool for DNA research from the beginning. And then you can have a more traditional way of clustering with finding keywords with AI or by just looking at the ideas and so forth. Or searching. Or tagging. Many ways to do that. Then you can add hypotheses and experiments and keep following it. And everything should be documented in the journal when you do this. And you can also, to each activity and each process, link documents. So you get an overview of what kind of documents you do have in that project. And here you can see an example of Google Analytics that you can link directly to a contribution site and get data out of it. Okay, the 6th step. Messaging and keep the momentum up. We have a very, very practical tool built in where you, based on behavior, can actually reach out to people and messaging them based on if they have left an idea, if they haven't opened a contribution site, and so forth and so forth. And based on this, you can actually make people engage and keep them in the loop, which is very important in the beginning of an ideation work. And in the later stages, like when you do the incubation and the industrialization, you don't even do this. This is like the heavy lifting in the beginning. Then the 7th step, where we have the journal and how you can link into your own database with documents. So here you can see examples of the event log and also where you link to your own database. And that is important. We link to where you have your documents, if it's SharePoint, Dropbox, whatever it might be. And that way you have complete control of all the documents.